Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening. Alright, untuk today's class, we will go into a new chapter, a new topic on array. Okay, before we start, let's have a look on what we will cover on array. Okay, 7.1 introduction. Okay, we will get to know the definition of array and also how to declare the array. 7.2 is on one dimension array. Okay, we will look at how processing are being done in this one dimension array, assessing the content of the array and array as parameter to function. We will not cover on 7.3c on string and reading and writing on string in array as this is not in the syllabus. Okay, alright. The definition of array. Array is a collection of a fixed number of components wherein all of the components have the same data type. Okay, what is actually array? What is the benefit of using array? Okay, can you still remember we are using a variable? We are declaring a variable. For example, we want to declare int student ID. Okay, what does this variable means? Okay, let's say we want to store student ID, one student ID. So we need to declare, for example, int student ID, okay, equal, let's say 2018 1000, right? So meaning that we have already declared an array that will store one student's ID number. Okay, let's see. Let's say, okay, in your class we have how many of you? 30 students. So what do we have to do? So we need to declare 30 variable that will store 30 students ID. Okay. So okay, 13. Then what happen if we have more like 100,000 students ID? So this is ridiculous to declare like 100,000 variable. So this is where array comes in. With one declaration, we can keep so many students ID. For example, 30 students ID. We can keep in one variable. Just declare one variable. Okay. So how are we going to do this? Okay, so now let's look at array is used to store multiple value in a single identifier. Like I said just now, with one identifier or variable, we can store multiple value ataupun multiple data. General array declaration syntax. Okay, this is the syntax, a general syntax of declaring an array. So data type. Okay, so let's say for students ID only involve numbers, so we can put int for data type and array name. So array name, this is up to us lah, macam kita declare variable lah. Okay, int student ID. So number of item. Okay, number of item, we have 30 students in this class, so put 30 here, but the syntax is you have to put dalam bracket ini. Okay. Okay, example we have here to store 5 float value in temp. Okay, temperature. Okay, for example, temperature. So, to declare float, temp dan size dia ialah 5. Alright. So, another example, we want to store 4 integer value in array name max. So, int max and the size is 4. Okay, another example, to store string of value. Okay, to store string of value, so we declare char, array name is y and the size is 20. Okay, so now each item in an array is called an element or component. Okay, data or value dalam array is called element or component. And then each item has its position in an array. This position is called index or subscript, always start at 0. This one is later on kita akan tengok example. Okay, so each content dalam array ni, okay, nak refer dia, we need to refer, let's say student the fifth student in the array. So dia ada what we call it an address ataupun we call it as index or subscript. Example, okay? int num10 store 10 data. Okay, so let's say if we declare int num without the size, this is an error, syntax error. When we compile, akan keluar error. Okay, this one int num, we don't specify the size of the array equal to 1, 2, 3. Ini dia punya content of the array. So when we compile, it is not going to be error. So num0 refer to the first data, num1 refer to the second data, num2 refer to the third data. Okay, apa maksudnya ni? Ini adalah yang what we call as index ataupun subscript. Nak refer to which data? Ini kita akan tengok in detail in the next slide. Alright, okay, now okay, before we go into this slide, kita nak tengok sikit the logical representation. Okay, right. So let us understand, okay, how array dia punya logical representation. Okay, let's say we have an array kat sini, int array, nama dia list, and then the size is 10. Actually, in your computer memory, okay, the array is represented like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So because the size is 10, so yeah, the computer memory will generate 10 storage for this array. Okay. And then kita tengok this is the index ataupun subscript. Yang dalam ni is element or component. Tapi kat sini dia belum letak any value in this array. So let's say dia kata array ni always start with 0. The address ataupun index ini always start with 0. So dia akan letak list, okay, the array name and then the bracket here 0 sampai last kali, because they start with 0 last kali, the index ialah list 9 lah. Okay, right now kita reverse balik ya. Okay. Alright, so let's see input and output. Okay. Macam mana kita nak enter value ataupun data masukkan dalam array, and also how are we going to display content of the array. So now let's look at this example. This one declaration int num size. So the array ni we have one array nama dia num dan the size is 100. Okay, let's say we want to put the 21 value in that array. So because the array start with 0, so the 21st value, 21 value is, kita katakan cin, kita will write, nak masukkan value, so cin lah, cin, and then the symbol for cin, and then num, name of the array, and then the position ataupun index. Kalau 21 value, the index ialah 20 lah, because it started with 0 kan. Okay, we want to display the 21th value. So cout num 20. So yang ni tricky sikit with the array lah, because array always start with 0. So be careful when they say write a statement to display the 22nd value in array num. So we will write here cout num. Kalau 22nd, so it's supposed to be 21 lah. Okay. Now, okay. Now let's say kita nak display content of the array. The whole content of the array. Okay, kat sini this one is not a whole content. Yang ni dia nak array sampai 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 saja. 5, the first 5 content of the array. So array ni dia melibatkan repetition, evolve in repetition because like it is ridiculous if we need to display the content of 100 ni semua. So we have to see to cout num0, cout num1 sampai cout 99. Cout num 99. So we need to use for lah. We need to use looping ataupun repetition. So here they give example for int equal to 0, int less than 5, int plus plus. So cout num 0. Okay, remember we learned repetition last few weeks. Okay, so and then we will repeat num1, num2 sampai num4 because it is less than 5. Okay, what happen if we want to display the whole content of the array? So array ni size dia apa? 100. So num I equal to 0. Last kali kan the index is 99. So I less than is not 99. Kalau 99 last kali dia akan display I equal to 98 kan. So you have to put 0 and then I less than 100. Okay, I plus plus and then cout num I. Okay, this is to display the whole content of the array for num. Okay, now array can be initialized within their declaration. Initialize means kita give initial value to the array. Let's say for example int temp. Okay, the size is 5, so we to initialize ialah kita mesti letak the value in curly bracket. Okay. So int temp size 5. Okay, content dia 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so yang ni macam mana? So for temp 0, okay, the content is 0. Temp 1, content is 2. Temp 2, the content is 3. Temp 3, the content is 4. Temp 4, the content is 5. Alright. Okay, now the second one, for example, we want to initialize array code size 6. So because this one is char, we have to put a single quote kat sini. So SAMPLE. So this one ada 6. So we have to declare dia macam ni. Ataupun or char code 6, size 6 is equal to, yang ni tak perlu curly bracket lah. Nanti you can try in after class nanti. Note a string is terminated with a special sentinel \0, the null character. Okay, yang ni dia nak bagi tahu yang last kali ni actually 0. Okay, 0. Actually yang ni dia ada example dia. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now kita tengok. Okay, if what we declare doesn't fulfill what the size of the array wants, for example kat sini we have int max size dia 6, we only declare 1, 2, 3. So yang ni kan ada size 6, what happened? The 3 lagi. So we only declare 3 but the array wants 6. The compiler will assume the next yang position seterusnya are going to be 0. For example, 1, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0. If what we declare exceeds what the array wants, for example, int max, the size is only 3, so the compiler will only take the first 3. The rest tu dia akan ignore. Okay, the array wants 3 but we declare 8. The compiler will only take the first 3 integer, the first 3 only. Okay. Okay, ini tadi yang saya explain tadi. So now let's say, okay, assessing. Okay, assessing ni we want to get the content of the array. For example, dia kata list 5. List 5 kita kena refer to the index. So list 5 yang ni lah. Okay, tapi actual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yang ke-6 position yang ke-6, however the index ialah list 5. This one actually is a bit tricky. We need to do more exercise, more training on assessing array component ataupun to display, to input. Okay, get yourself familiar with the index. Okay, now let's say kita nak tengok kita assign value, okay, list 3 equal to 10. So kita nak letak kat mana? We have to follow this one. Jangan follow kita kira 1, 2, 3 ikut size yang kita declare tu. We need to refer to the index. So kalau kat sini 3 ni, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, dekat dalam ni list 3 ni the content is we assign value 10. Okay, list 6. List 6, so we need to refer to index 6. Okay, the value is 35. So now dia kata list 5 is equal to the content of list 3 tadi plus list 6. 35 plus 10 is 45. Kita nak letak dekat list 5. The index yang 5 ni. Kat sini letak 45. Okay. Okay, now processing one dimension array. Okay, processing ini some basic operations perform on one dimension array. Okay, yang kita belajar now ialah one dimension array. Yang one dimension array tu macam this one lah. Dia punya logical representation only satu data sahaja yang boleh disimpan. Banyak data boleh disimpan dalam satu declaration of array ni. Okay, so what kind of processing can be done on one dimension array? Initialize, tadi kita dah go through initialize, and then input data, we learn how to input using cin just now. Output data, cout, okay. Data stored in an array, and then find the largest or smallest element. Each operation requires ability to step through the element of the array, easily accomplished by using loop. Okay, kita dah tengok sedikit example tadi. Okay, now let's say assessing array component. Okay, consider declaration. We have an array here. Nama dia list. The size is 100. INTI ni because ni serupa before this we are using for INTI kan, tapi kat sini dia declare dekat atas ni same thing. Okay, let's say dia kata this for loop steps through each element of the array starting at the first element. Okay, so we are using for loop for int ni tadi I equal to 0 because array the element always starts at 0. Okay, I less than 100, I plus plus. Yang ni kita nak go through each element in array list. Okay. So now let's say if processing list requires input data into the list. So the statement in line 2 takes the form of an input statement such as cin statement. Okay, for int equal to 0, I less than 100, I plus plus. So cin, so cara kita tulis ialah cin, okay, ni list I. So bila list I ni represented by 0 until 99. Less than 100 means the last is 99. So kita perlu, when we run this program, we need to input 100 data into this array. So if you want to try this example, jangan letak 100 lah. Kita put as, let's say this one, put 5 sahaja. So kat sini, less than 5. And then we write this program, then you compile and run. You see what happened. The computer, the C++ will wait for the user to enter content of the array, value masuk dalam array. Okay, this one input. Okay, now let's say if processing list requires printing, we want to display ataupun print data from the array. So the statement in line 2 takes the form of an input statement such as cout. So for I equal to 0, I less than 10, I less than 100. Tadi we are using example 5. I less than 5, I plus plus cout list 5. So dia akan display all content yang kita masukkan tadi, yang cin tadi. Okay, that tadi cin cout . Okay, now let's look at one example here. We have one example here. So how many array we have here? We have array my list size 10, your list size 10. We have two array here. Satu nama my list and the other one is your list. So this one is int index yang untuk control for loop ni lah. Okay, now let's look at this one. See out, enter 10 numbers. This one is to make the program clearer lah. Bila kita run, dia akan keluar enter 10 numbers. So, okay, when we deal with array, kita memang akan guna for loop. So, kita tengok sini. Kalau it's difficult for you to understand, you just remember, tengok kalau size ini kat sini, start with 0, index equal to 0, index less than 10. Start with 0 dan less than size of the array. Index ni actually sama dengan I. Cuma dia nak pelbagaikan to show you that we can also use another variable untuk control loop tu. Okay. Before this kita guna I boleh, N boleh, kat sini dia guna index. Okay, I plus plus. Plus plus ni because we need to scan through the position of the array. Satu-satu dia akan go. So dia kata my list index equal to 0, 0. Okay, dia kat sini dia bersihkan dululah. Yang ni dia punya purpose is to to clean the content of the array. Okay, now index 0 dia akan see in my list. Okay, 0, so see in, so dia akan tunggu you enter a number. Enter a number, then dia akan pergi second one untuk, then you need to key in 10 numbers kat sini. It's because we this one you're using see in. So now dia kata see up the component inside my list array. Dia kata so nak display see out is to display lah, print component. So you need to use for lagi. For index equal to 0, index less than 10, index plus plus, and then just see out and then display array name and then dalam ni index. So dia akan go one by one lah, 0, 1, 2, 3 sampai 9. Okay, so dia display the content yang you masukkan di sini tadi. Okay, now dia ada satu lagi dia kata. See out the number inside the list array are. Okay, so kat sini still we're using for because we need to go through array semua ni, the content of the array. So dia kata your list is equal to my list. So dia akan ambil content of my list tadi yang kita masukkan tu, dia akan masukkan dalam your list satu persatu. Okay, so then see out your list. This is a new array tadi yang dia akan copy content of the array masuk dalam array your list. So dia akan display lah. Okay, so last kali see out the number of your list is your list 5. Okay, ni yang last kali. Alright. Okay, so this is one example. Please try this nanti after this class. Okay, now kita tengok one more example. Okay, dia kata kat sini example 7.2. Program ni will read 5 number. Find their sum, print the number in reverse order. Okay, macam mana tu? So, program ni kalau 5 numbers ni we need to declare an array. Kat sini given the array name is item, the size is 5. Declare an array item of 5 component. So we need to declare one more variable name sum sebab kita nak campur semua number yang kita masuk tadi. And then counter ni is for loop ni. Okay, enter 5 number, then we initialize sum is equal to 0. For counter is equal to 0, counter less than 5, counter plus plus. So see in counter, kan tadi kita nak read 5 numbers kan. See in item counter start with 0. So when we key in number let's say 5. So sum ni tadi equal to the kosong plus 5 is 5 lah. Okay, dah habis ni dia pusing balik, adakah dia increase lah. Tadi kosong plus 1 is 1. So now counter is 1. Okay. So dia kata see in item 1 untuk position index yang 1 pula. So let's say we put 10. Okay. Sum now is 5 plus 10 is 15. Sum will increase jadi 15. So dia pusing sampai counter equal to 4. Okay, habis ni dia kira sum. So see out now the sum of the number is dia akan keluarkan the latest ataupun the last yang dia kira sum tadi. So now we want to display in reverse order pula. The content of the array kita nak display dalam reverse order. Okay, so kat sini kita play around with the counter tadi. Counter equal to 4, counter greater than 0, counter minus minus. So dia akan display kalau ikutkan yang okay macam ni. So kalau tadi display item to 4 4 kan kita, this one kita we imagine so dia akan display yang reverse order ni content yang dalam ni lah 4 and then 3 2 1 0. Yang ni size is 10, tadi kita size dia adalah 5 ni saya nak imaginekan lah. Imagine, so let's say item 5 ni dia akan start daripada sini lah. So kita dah belajar 4 kan, 4 macam mana nak reversekan dia. So then counter minus minus ni you refer balik yang kita nak guna loop yang decreasing order. So okay. Alright, tengok for example ini for this program, okay, ni example dia when we run. So enter 5 numbers. So item 0 45, item 1 78, item 2 62, item 3 35, item 4 is 98. So the sum ni kalau kita campur ni all together is 318. So the number in reverse order, so dia akan display lah 98, 35, 62, 78 and 45. Okay, please try this with Dev C++. Okay, I'm just giving you lecture, so you need to try all example in order for you to understand. Okay, yang ni array as parameter to function. Yang ni kita reserve dulu because kita belum belajar function. Okay, nanti bila kita belajar function, dan kita akan datang kat sini lah. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, please understand. Please do the example. Okay.